Hello and welcome to the Lengthy Yarn Podcast, an awesome knitting production. This is episode 1, but before I begin, I will give you a brief bio on who I am. My name is Frank, also known as Knitting Guru 1 on Ravelry, and I have been knitting for about 1.5 to 2 years. Some things I like to do are knit, read, write, watch, or listen to podcasts, mainly about knitting. And I have had a few people ask me how I chose my current Ravelry name, which is Knitting Guru 1. One is, basically the main reason is because knitting is basically my big hobby. It's the thing I do with most of my free time while I watch podcasts or move around, go places, and I'll always have knitting with me. If you see me somewhere, I'll most likely be knitting. And also, I kind of consider myself to be a moderate, hippie kind of person. I have that kind of personality, and I'm into yoga and stuff like that, so I just kind of put the guru in there for a added element of my personality. This is episode 1, and this show's lineup is works in progress, FOs, or finished objects, all that jazz, and acknowledgements. I will be beginning with works in progress, or what I've been knitting on in the last week or so. 2 things. The first is what's titled as Mama George's Christmas Socks on my Ravelry projects page. It's a basic afterthought sock. The pattern is by Laura Linneman from the Knit Girls podcast, and I'm doing it out of Crown Mountain Farms sock hop yarn, which is now a discontinued yarn since the farm closed down. And it will be a slightly mismatched sock, but the colors are similar, so it won't be a huge difference or anything like that. And the only other thing is some off and on granny squares I've been crocheting for a charity organization that I will reference in the acknowledgement section at the end of the show. We're already on to FOs, and the 2 things I have is the 5 rectangle baby cardigan. It's originally called the 5 rectangle baby sweater by Carol Duval. And it was done out of Bernat Softy Chunky yarn in the schoolyard colorway, and it had the cuffs of the arms and on an added border on the bottom of the body was done out of another Bernat Softy Chunky yarn that was berry red. And it was a relatively quick knit. It was knit on US size 10.5 needles, and the only problems that I had were with the sewing, because it's the first project I've actually had to sew pieces together. It's my first sweater, which I was very proud of accomplishing. And, yeah. So that was one of my finished objects. The other one are what I call my Pumpkin Gets socks, which are basically a modified version of Knitting Pure and Simple's men's heavyweight boot sock. And I think on my Ravelry project page they're just titled My Halloween Socks. I have to go in and change them. I knit them mainly for both Socktober, the month-long challenge to knit as many pairs of socks as possible, and also for the Knit Girls Craft Along contest, and it was basically any craft that you do, you can enter in as many projects that you complete in the month of October, and they're going to have random drawings of a whole bunch of really awesome prizes, and I really hope that I win. I was hoping to get these socks for my mom. If I didn't mention that, the Mama George's Christmas socks are for my mom. I can't remember if I said that or not. But I was hoping to have those done so I could get a second entry in there just to improve my odds, but I didn't. But oh well. I really hope I win, but I'm wishing the best of luck to everyone else in the contest. There's a lot. I think there's over 1,000 entries, so it's basically 1 in 100 chance for every 100 people. But yeah, so I hope to win that. And that's it for finished objects. This is the second time recording, so at the end of finished objects in the last recording, I was at like 10 minutes. Now I'm only at about 6, so this is going to be a short episode. Next segment is All That Jazz, and this is going to be just the everything else kind of segment where I talk about whatever books I'm reading or things that are going on in my life or whatever. The first thing I have in All That Jazz is I am reading Yarn Harlot, The Secret Life of a Knitter by Stephanie Pearl McPhee, better known as the Yarn Harlot. And it's an autobiography of her adventures in knitting, and I am almost done with it. I have about 15 pages left. Hope to finish that by tomorrow or so. Get it back to the library so I can pick up another book. But I definitely recommend reading it. It's very funny and a little bit sad in a few areas as well. But it was very, very good. I love her writing style, and it was very enjoyable to listen to. Next up is I am very busy with school, and so I may not be able to record consistently on this podcast. I really hope to make it an every week thing, but I might have to do every other week if I have to. So, if I can't record on a certain week, I will put a note on the website saying that I won't be recording that week, just to let you know, so you're not just sitting there anticipating, waiting, not knowing what's going on. So just a heads up, that might happen. I'm really busy with school and other things, so yeah. Last thing and All That Jazz is that I really wish I could have gone to Rhinebeck with a whole bunch of people that I knew. There were a lot of really cool people, teachers, vendors, and just attendees that were there. A lot of good friends. I hope to be able to go there one day with you all and see everyone that I've met through the internet and podcasts. Yeah, and that is about it for All That Jazz. And now on to acknowledgements, the last section. Designer Yarn, located off of Proctor Boulevard in Sandy, Oregon, provides luxurious and designer yarns for the residents of Sandy, Estacada, Gresham, Welches, and beyond Mount Hood. And they've been there since, I believe, 2003, providing yarn for all of us knitters and crocheters and other crafters in this area. The Children's Comfort Tote Project provides pajamas, night lights, toothbrushes, and hand-knit items to orphans in the Maine, or more particularly the Augusta, Maine area, who are transitioning into new homes. There will be a link posted in the show notes to take you to the Facebook group so you can find out how you might donate using the skills of knitting and crocheting, or even just a little bit of money to buy a teddy bear or a pair of pajamas. Last but not least is a local and yet worldwide organization called All Classical FM. They're a non-profit, non-commercial radio station that features only classical music, and they are one of the few remaining in this world. You can listen online at allclassical.org and anywhere from the world, and it's completely free. and I recommend checking them out if you enjoy classical music. And great personalities. The hosts are extremely fun to listen to throughout the day. I listen almost every day, especially on the weekends. There are many interesting programs that are featured on the weekends. And that concludes acknowledgments. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope that you have a great and productive week of knitting. And please add me on Ravelry, and you can find me. I'm a member of the Knit Girls group, the Round the Twist group, many groups. And I just recently discovered the group chat feature, and I've been doing that a lot more to meet people and get new friends on Ravelry. And so you can find me a lot of the time in the Knit Girls chat group, or group chat. And I hope you have a great week, and thank you for tuning in. Good day.